As a heating and air conditioning technician or a salesperson, how much influence do you have on objections and why does it matter? This is a super important question. I'm Scott Silvenbell, coming to you live for HVAC Technician Sales Secrets on a perfect day to talk about sales and a perfect day to talk about you. So in 2009, 2010, I started writing with technicians and salespeople and taking really good notes. And I started looking for correlations. What is it that the top salespeople do that the lower salespeople don't? What is it that they say? What is it that they think? And what are the opportunities? And I started noticing trends. I started noticing, oh, this happens and this happens. And one of the biggest aha moments that I had about sales is your role, your responsibility is to make the most out of the lead that you can, because whatever you believe about that lead typically comes true. And I really want you to ponder this because, like, when I started this video, I said it's super important, like super important. And this is why you should join HVACTechSecrets.com. I'll give you the goods, not in the Facebook group, not in the YouTube channel. So when you take a look at it, here is what would happen. I would get in the car, I'd be over in that seat, I'd be writing Copilot, and technician would be driving down the road, and they'd go, man, Scott, I hope that I don't hear, I want to think about it from the buyer. And I go, okay. And I'd make my note on the paper. What objection do you think they would get? I want to think about it. I would be in the car, the technician would be driving, and they'd look at me and they'd say, hey, Scott, I hope I don't hear, I'm going to get 3 bids. What objection did they hear? I'm going to get 3 bids. Hey, Scott, I hope I don't hear, I don't like your company. I hope I don't hear, I don't like your brand. I hope you see where this is going. Every objection that they're driving and telling me, I hope I don't get, that they would get. And I was like, this is freaking amazing. Like, whatever objection they think they're going to have is the one that they have. Now, conversely, here's what happened. When I would ride with closers, they would never bring this up. They would be like, game on, I'm going to go close the deal. And I went, wow, okay. So what you think about the call before you go has weight, gravity, influence. And please, I hope that you're paying attention to this. This is why, like, when you read your job notes, you go into your CRM and it says, person's angry, person's a jerk, person will never do business with us, all those bad things. You got to just like purge them and go, hey, like, that may be true for that person who took the call, or that may be true for the last person who went out there, but not me. It's my role and responsibility to do everything I can to close this deal. Now, I've been through sales struggles. I've been through sales slumps. I have had some that are self-induced. I've had others that are induced by other people that I, correlated and did a bunch of stuff and added to, and like, yeah. But in sales, it's you against you first. It's you against everybody else second. But if you're not paying attention and you're saying it's everybody else's fault, you got to look inside and say, is it mine? Because chances are pretty dang good, like 99.9%, they start with you. So if you're on your way to your sales call this morning, like, the first thing you should be is like, I'm going to do everything I can to do the right thing for this homeowner. That's like the first thing that I always tell myself. I'm going to do everything I can to do the right thing for my client, right? That's the single most important thing. I'm going to do everything I can to take care of my client. I'm going to do everything I can to work towards the best thing for my client. And then if by chance that it's my job to sell them something, then I'm going to sell them something. But if I'm looking for a reason why I won't make a sale, start asking, am I reading into this the wrong way? Now, I remember a time when I was a sales trainer. That was my job. I was not a salesperson. I was a sales trainer. And it was a super busy year. And the company said, Scott, we're super busy. We need you to go close leads. I'm like, game on, let's go. So I go to the sales lead coordinator and I pull her aside and I said, hey, here's what I want you to do. Every lead that comes in that is the hardest lead that you get, I want that lead. And she said, really? Why? And I said, because here's what's going to happen is all the sales guys are going to come to you and say, you're giving Scott all the easy leads. And I closed 13 for 13. Like, all the bad leads, all the ones that nobody wanted. It was like, this is a bragging right for me. And I took it toe to toe. So this is going to be a bragging right. I am going to go close every freaking one of these deals. Like, you name a problem with a client that you have, I had that buyer, right? Closed every single one of them. Guy was moving into his house, had home warranty, had him an install the next day. And I'm not saying this to brag. I suck at some things. I'm horrible at some things. I break things all the time. I am not perfect. But I want you to understand that this is super important, that what you believe about that call and what you tell yourself about it before you get there is probably one of the most important things that you could say to yourself. So this is why you should get like a recorder, right? Let me grab my recorder. I keep it right here in my console in my car. This is why you should keep a recorder and grab your recorder and like talk yourself through what are you going to do on your call? What's your call going to be like? Do you have a checklist that you work from? And this video is probably longer than normal. I'm okay with that. I'm glad that you're here, paying attention, taking notes, getting ready, figuring out why you're getting the objections that you're getting. And you may not even be in heating and air. And welcome to the party, pal. Right? This is true. I've probably got this on my Scott Bell Consultant sales channel just as well, but I'm going far deeper on this video than I did on my Scott Bell Consultant channel. So realize that whatever you believe about that call, this is what happens. You get to that call and you're like, in my head, I think this person's going to tell me I want to get 3 bids. So you know what? You give a sales presentation based upon not the product that you sell, not the company that you work for, not the warranties and guarantees. You literally talk people into getting 3 bids. You say, I hope they don't say I want to think about it. Guess what? You dance around that circle and you bring somebody full circle and they go, like, now I got to think about it. You overpower and think that you're like, hey, I hope they don't like have problems with my product. I've got XYZ product. I hope they don't give me that objection. Well, you're going to dance around that objection in your presentation and you are going to spoon feed your client that information about why they shouldn't do business with you, why they need to get new bids, more bids, why they've got to, why the product that you have isn't very good. Recognize that there is a form of psychological priming that you use in your sales presentation that leads to problems for you. And it leads to problems for me. I've done this. I've left calls going, gosh, dang it. What just happened? On paper, this was the perfect lead. And they said, I want to think about it. I got inside. They started talking about how they make their decisions, and it rattled me. And there's times where I've had salespeople in riding co-pilot with me, okay? This is important for you to know. This is why you got to have rules for a ride-along. I've had salespeople ride with me and say, well, what objection do you think you're going to get? I'm like, no, don't, no. Psh, psh. You gotta be quiet over there. Don't bring that trash over to me. That's silly. That's crazy talk. That's crazy talk. So, like, let's say that you get your assignment. Let's say that you're a technician and you're like, oh, I'm going to the Joneses' house and here's all the notes. And the CSR just did not have a good time with this person. This person's going to be a jerk. You're going to set that expectation. You're going to read the notes, right, from the CSR if you're a salesperson, and it says, homeowner getting 10 bids. Homeowner's getting 10 bids. And you know, in your mind, you're like, homeowner's getting 10 bids. I'm going to let them live that expectation. Like, the best thing for you to do, this is how you get through this. You set a dot on the horizon and you use what Taylor Welch calls directional certainty, right? I like that term, directional certainty. I heard that first from Taylor Welch. I like to give credit where credit's due, but you put a dot on the horizon and you paint that picture for the client. You know, you paint that picture of what they're going to do, where they're going to go, how they're going to get there, and how you are going to take them to the promised land. You don't worry about what everybody else told you. Like, it's your role, it's your responsibility to do the right thing for your client, but it's your role and responsibility to do the right thing for yourself first and program what you got going through your head. You got one of 2 things to do from here. Find the subscribe button or the follow button, click on it. Every time I send out a video, you'll get an update that says HVAC Technician Sales Secrets, and another fantastic video. You should check it out, which you should. We'll see you soon.